Hey guys, I'm Arthur Perkins. This is APGamingREAL. Sorry we're getting started a bit late, but we are testing the first launch of this show on the table's top. This is a stream suggested to me by the artist who's made these fantastic overlays and who is our first guest here, Erosido. It
Hello,
is a
guys.
show where we will be speed sketching scenes from fantasy role playing games, one on ones between myself and another player. Arrow, let's talk about you real quick here before we jump in. Who are you? Where can people find you? And what do you do? Man, you're just zooming.
Well, I'm a freelance artist. I was actually started this whole thing in an AP channel, and then it kind of took a liking to it, and then I'm doing this since then.
Yeah, you
And
did a
you
lot of
can,
work for Mistborn.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
So you can find me at uh, Bicorvello, like
On Twitter.
on Twitter.
Look, he's
I'm
gonna
gonna.
draw it. It's amazing. It's next level.
It's, he's a
Right.
genius.
If you're watching on YouTube, there'll actually be a link in the description section you can click on.
And if you type my name here in Google and such, you're probably gonna find my portfolio and stuff, and my commission information. So, and I guess that's it.
Excellent. EQ, who are you? Where can people find you? And what do you do?
Hi guys, I'm EQ Mag. You can find me on AP's Discord. I pop on a few shows that he has. I usually just pop around the internet. I don't do any my own streaming or anything like that. But yeah, if you need to find me, head over to AP Gaming Real's Discord.
All right. So tonight Arrow will be here answering questions while the sketching is going on. For once, I've thrown chat up. For some of you, you might be surprised at how much I have to manage chat while also running a tabletop role playing game show. But speaking of that show, let's jump in here with the fantastic adventure of Rydell. By asking you, EQ, we're not going to explain all the mechanics of Burning Wheel. That's a
Nope.
Burning Wheel show. This is a
Yep.
drawing show.
Yep.
What's important in Burning Wheel are your beliefs and your instincts. What are the beliefs that drive Rydell the Elven Wanderer?
The beliefs that drive Rydell is only I can save the world. No one else is willing to devote themselves to the cause. I must learn more about the spirit of the spring and find a way to beseech him to rid us of winter. I also have a belief that Nai is lost in her spite. I must convince her to join me in my cause and move past her past. Only our love and teamwork can make this path possible. And the final belief for Rydell is life is harsh. Only those who are willing to sacrifice something can gain something.
So, what are your instincts? These are like pre-programmed statements that are true for your character.
Yeah, I actually sort of love these instincts a lot. His first instinct is if I am surprised, I will start to sing. So moments where he is surprised or unsure or just caught off guard, sometimes he might break into song. His other instinct is I will always find a safe place to rest my head. And his final instinct is in the moment of grief or sorrow, I must lament over my problems.
All right. We begin in a frozen forest. Icicles hang on bare trees, the bark beginning to peel away. We can see some trees have exploded from it being so cold, the moisture in them and the cracking as they freeze. There's the crunch of light feet moving across the ice of this place and into camera frame comes Rydell the Elven Wanderer. Tell us what we're looking at as we see Rydell looking contemplatively off camera.
Yeah, Rydell is an elf, but not only is he's not really one of the blonde-haired, extremely beautiful, extravagant elves. He's much more wild, long brown hair held back. His clothes are sort of Eskimo-ish. I think of sort of like a pale complexion for his skin. with deep brown, almost bark-like hair that goes long and back. Rydell stands close to about 4 feet 10 inches, and his hair is usually littered with simple charms, quartz feathers, beads in a braid, tiny little bone charms. He definitely has like a few, many like necklaces around him and bracelets. He looks very natural and out in the world as he's staring out onto this frozen tundra, looking at this desolation, and you just see just this look of sorrow and sadness upon him as the world seems to decay.
All right. Well, based on Burning Wheel's rules, you have an instinct that says, in moments of grief or sorrow, I must lament over my problems. So you immediately begin lamenting if you would like. You can use your lament. I believe it's Lament of the Stars.
Yeah, it's Lament of the Stars. It's actually a song, I believe.
Oh, yes. Laments are definitely songs.
Yeah, as Rydell is like standing out, he probably tries to find a nice open area in which his voice can carry, and you just hear this song of sorrow and sadness as it starts to flow out of him. And I need to roll for this, don't I?
Is there anything at risk here? I don't know that specifically there is.
I don't think so.
Begin singing. I'm curious though, because I think Lament of the Stars has some pretty specific lamenting you must perform. And it's also your only lament, so this is how you get by in your times of lament need.
Indeed. Let me pull it up.
J, K, L. I know the letters of the alphabet. Oh, it's a spell song. That's why I can't find it in the skills section.
Yep. It is a spell song.
Foolish move me. Look, we've already slowed down the stream with rules all over the place.
It should be in the Elven section.
Yeah, that's like some
139 or something.
Yep, I'm already there.
All right.
Cerner, Elven spell song, Lament, Lay of the Horse, Lament of the Stars. Lament of the Stars is the first lament learned by the elves as they left their ancestral homeland and crossed the sea to their new home. The bards composed this song to ease their heart pain and homesick. All right, so it's literally just like, we've left the sky and come here. All right, yeah, you sing of your troubles.
Yeah, it probably sounds something like our home, so lost and far away. We step now upon a lost and tundrous way. We beseech you all that we have seen before. The Mother Earth returns, and once we should become once more.
So, by the time your lamenting is finished, there is crunching of the snow from behind you, and we hear a voice call out and say, "Beautiful singing voice there, lad. Are you the one then that they call the Wanderer?"
As he like stops and he takes a breath and turns and he's like, "I am. They have called me that before."
So as you turn to look at this figure, their ears are slightly more curved than you've seen before. He has a wide brim farmer's hat of human make, and there's a wide divot for him to fit his ears through. This is a half-elf, and he adjusts his clothes and his backpack and says, "We've been hoping you'd come by for some time. Without help, we're going to die out here, sir."
It is a dark time we live in right now. Please, tell me, what do you need?
He gestures towards the north and says, 2 miles that way lays the village where we live. We have not gained our mothers' and fathers' resistance to this ill-begotten weather. We do not pass through life as you do. resistant to the cold, a touch of warmth. The humans that live among us, they grow sick and ill and are dying. Can you help them?
I can try to. I have been many places and seen many things, but the spirits are always fickle in the end.
We smash cut to you and this man entering the town, and the first thing we see is a rather lithe, almost huntress-like. She's got a light blonde braid pulled back very severely on her head, and is wearing almost festive, kind of light green, blue pants, completely out of place in the winter wonderland of this small human village. And her face is a mask of rage and hatred, but it is one you have known many times, Rydell, because this is your lover, Nye, the dark elf of spite. She's dragging a old man who's using a cane into the street. He's coughing heavily. His cheeks are very red, and as an elf, you can see that this man's time is coming to an end. Whatever cough besets him, it's weakened him and exhausted him in a way that you will never know. And Nye is pulling him out into the street and screaming in Elvish, which no one in the town can seem to translate to these humans. And just is saying, you clearly understand her. She says,
Yeah.
I'll sing a dirge for you, old man, but you're a waste of this village's resources. The only thing left for you. And there's a shh as she pulls a blade out from a leather sheath. Is
And
to
just
die.
as she like pulls it out, Rydell like comes and like grabs her arm and it's like, Nye, what are you doing?
This man is wasting their time. You'd waste your time. I know how you are with these humans and half-humans.
This is not the way to do things.
This is how we do things.
This is how we do things, but they are not us. They do not understand the burden we have.
Make a persuasion check. So she has a will of 4. And you are going to need to roll a persuasion check in order to overcome that.
All right.
What is your intent here?
My intent is to leave the man be.
Okay. All right. So the failure consequence is she's not going to leave the man be. If you fail, she's going to finish what she started.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to fork here? Any fictional positioning you want to call on?
I think I would like to. Man, what can I call on? I don't think Pathwise would apply.
No.
Yeah, none of my songs. I don't think I can do Song of Soothing.
Nope. Song of Soothing is to help.
Yeah.
Well, Song of Soothing is to heal. It acts as herbalism for elves that want to sing.
Yeah. Let's see. I have all of.
I actually will let you
Virgie.
fork that here. Specifically because it is in the act of healing and saving this man's life. Vaguely related.
I don't think Okafuji would apply here.
That's a trait, not not a
Okay.
skill.
Okay. Then yeah, I would like to fork that, and then I have Persuasion.
I'm gonna give you 2 fate, by the way. I didn't mention this at the start, but
Okay.
no reason not to give you a little bit of something to play with. All right.
So I have an obstacle 3 with a
It's op
3
4.
dice. Ob 4 with 3 dice.
Yeah, it's real rough. You're not very good at convincing Nye to do things.
I mean, she's very upsetting at times, but
Life
How
can
is
be
her hair
upsetting.
again?
Single severe braid pulled behind her, like very tight,
Okay.
overlapping constantly.
I forget. I probably can't use martyr, can I? That's
That's still a trait, not a
still
skill.
trait. Yep. All right. And fate gives me the ability to do what?
Reroll 6s.
Reroll 6s. I mean, she does this all the time. And no Artha. Obstacle 4. I can't pass it.
It is unlikely. I did see someone roll 5 6s in a row yesterday, though. So, yeah, she finishes her movement. You say your words, and they pass in one ear and out the other. And she brings the blade smoothly around as if giving him a shave. She doesn't bring his head back to do that. She pushes his head down and cuts it under. And there's a dribbling of red, dark red human blood, not like your blood, spilling out onto the ground and wetting the fresh snow. People here seem surprised but not overly shocked. You get the idea she might have done this before.
Yeah. I like reach down, putting a finger into the blood, and then put like a tally mark on her forehead. And I'm just like,
compared to her almost pitch black skin, the red mark seems to simply fade away.
we didn't need to be like this, Nye.
These people aren't going to survive. They continue to go about doing things this way. She flicks her blade, and almost like magic, the blood just sails off of it.
They're not going to survive either way unless we can beseech the spirits. Even you know that.
As she begins sheathing her sword, we finally get a good look at it. It's like a butcher's knife with a circular ring at the end of it so that she can quickly pull it out and wrap it around her finger. And she slides it smoothly back into the sheath and says, "None of them are going to survive if we don't finish your quest." And then she looks away from you strangely and looks at the gathered villagers. There's almost 30 here now. Many of them are either very old or very young, and just look in fear at the two of you. They seem to have lumped you into the group with her.
He just like shakes his head, and he's just like, we always have to make things difficult for ourselves, Nye. Always have to make things difficult. And he like steps away from her and starts to walk. Is the farmer amongst any of them?
Yeah, he grabs your arm as you start stepping away. He says, "Wait, stay. Stay, friend. I can see you're not like her."
I am sorry for her. She is...
No, she's right. We're not going to survive this winter without help. I'm glad you and she are here. We're willing to sacrifice if it means getting you to where you need to be. We're at the end of the road. This is the last village.
That is good. Then you are prepared for the cost. And
he looks confused and says, "The cost? We've heard nothing of the cost."
Each spirit is different. Some wish for more than others, but there's always something. Nothing is ever free.
When you say that, Nye slaps you across the chest at the back of her hand. Says, "There's plenty of things you can get for free, dear."
Yes, if you take them.
She kind of shrugs.
Yeah.
And it's very like troll facey. Like she is in this moment an emote.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's still like the plain blank face of just like, I don't give a shit. And he like turns to the farmer once more, and he's like, have any of the spirits here talked to anyone? Has anyone seen any of them in this area? Spirits of cold.
Are you asking the farmer, or are you asking everyone in general?
Everyone in general.
Okay. I'm curious about this. I would like you to make an oratory test.
All right.
And specifically because you have scared these people.
They should be afraid.
Well, technically we can do this one of two ways. You can try to circles up someone who has seen something, or you can try to oratory and get someone to step forward.
I think I would rather circle someone up. I don't have oratory,
All right.
so circles would be better for me.
Okay.
And then I would like to fork in spirit wise.
You don't fork
Nope,
in
I can't.
circles. You would.
well.
You wouldn't be able to for oratory either because you don't know it. So let's talk about circles. You aren't from this place, but there are some half elves, so there would be people who share life paths with you. It would not be unreasonable to assume that you would be able to find someone either you know or would know enough about you to want to talk to you.
Perfect. I think it would probably be someone that would, because of my reputation, it would probably be someone that would know me more than I know them.
Okay, so you're going to call your reputation dice into this then?
Sure. Yeah, if I can do that, that's perfect.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so let's look at the specific obstacle. I know, we've stopped playing a role-playing game, and now we're doing the dice stuff. That's how this works. You want to have cool role-playing games, sometimes you got to do the dice stuff. I know.
Indeed.
I know. All right, so relationships, circles, affiliations. All right, circles, blah, blah, blah. What are you looking for here? What occupation of person are you looking to find?
I'm probably looking to find maybe not so much a priest, but someone who is someone who has an understanding of spirits, so that they know when they've seen it, they know what they saw.
Okay.
Compared to like people who are just like, we saw some crazy things in comparison. Old Farmer John said he saw this crazy spider thing.
So let me ask you something. Are people that can talk and see spirits, is that common?
Yes.
Okay.
From when we described the world, it definitely seemed like spirits were extremely prevalent, and so was people's abilities to interact with them.
I'm going to give this person an uncommon occupation then, because you're looking for kind of a spiritualist specifically.
Yeah.
Are they of the same social station, rank, or class as you? Or are they above or below you?
Same.
Okay. So they are a penniless wanderer to some extent then.
Yes, they are a wanderer. Okay. Wanderers would be the best to understand the spirits. All right.
That's your belief. Yeah.
Yeah. It is my belief.
And you were looking for them to have specific knowledge of, well, no, because it's common to that circle. All right.
Yeah.
So you want them here and now.
Or at least
are
in the
you
area.
Looking for them? Oh, in the area. All right. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. When you're circling this up, do you want them like literally right here in the middle of the scene, or are we cutting to another scene in another place?
We're cutting to another scene in another place.
All right. So your obstacle here is 3.
Okay. I have a modifier of 3, ob 3.
Because you're calling on your reputation as the martyr? Yes.
Yes. Yep. Because that reputation dice only gives me 1, right?
All right. So before we roll, I will tell you that if you fail, I can do something called the enmity clause, which is where you find the person you seek, but they hate you.
Interesting.
Or it can be you don't meet anybody, but this is Burning Wheel, where failure is never no. Failure is never nothing happens.
I'm fine with them hating me.
Oh man, is Arrow literally drawing you, like grabbing her hand? And she's wow, that's so.
It looks super cool.
I really like the kind of Romanesque toga she's got going on too.
Yeah. So my reputation dice only gives me 1 to my dice pool.
I mean, if you had more money, you would have paid for a better reputation.
If I wasn't broke as crap. So if I do fate, if I use my fate, I can reroll.
You can pay for fate afterwards. You don't have to until you see that you have 6s.
And it's obstacle free.
Yep.
All right, let's do this.
Wow, 0 successes.
Holy
cow!
All traitors.
The devil's numbers. I feel like you're gonna meet somebody and they really hate you.
They super hate me.
You tell me this person's name, and I'm gonna tell you more about them.
Their name is maybe it's like I'm trying to think of a good name. I want to think of like something that's gonna stick out.
Oh boy.
Like
Look at this. The name is what's stopping him.
the name always would stop me.
You would have had to. You would have had to do this anyway.
Let's call them Varin.
Varyn, Varyn.
Yeah.
All right. So we come to the town is like 6 houses, a very large tavern that's half in disarray. Like half of it is clearly been blanketed off. You can see from the outside that like the roof is caved in from all the icing on top of it. And in that area they've like blanketed it up so that the heat won't escape. And logging camp. And then there are other houses outside the town area, but this is a very small village.
Yeah.
And out by the logging camp, you meet Varen. You're waiting by a stump that has an axe in it. And as you put your foot on the stump, Varen comes around from behind a tree. And you can tell that his dramatic flair for entrances is in full effect. He's got straight red hair, just swooshed back. And it's in like an anime style frozen position to look kind of like Cloud Strife style spikes. Narrow gray eyes and a beak nose. He's wearing hide armor, and it's difficult to tell exactly what creature it once was, but he's definitely got bare shoulder paddings with an actual bear head on one side.
What race is he?
He is an elf. He's an elf. That's the only person you can summon up is elves, because that's all you know.
That's all I know. Yep.
He's got a scimitar on, and he's drawing it out, and it makes the sheening noise. The noise we don't really hear when swords are drawn. That's what happens when this sword is drawn, and clues you into the fact that this is a magic sword. And as he waves it around, you can tell that you've met another of your kin, another full elf, because in the pale starlight around you, you can see he has an essence of moonlight that emanates from around his body, the same that you share. The halo seen only to those with clear eyes. He's waving the scimitar around in starlight, and the stars reflect off it. Your beautiful elf eyes. And he says, Rydell, long time no see.
Varen.
Thought you'd left the wandering business behind you. Heard that you'd gone, well, straight. Got a wife, moved to the Citadel. Now here you are, wandering around with a dark elf, killing people in the streets. I'd say you're trying to put me out of a job. And his hand like clenches on the scimitar as he slowly puts it back.
I have no need to infringe on your job. I only come with another purpose.
There it is. That presumptive arrogance. You truly do embody the worst of our kind.
He just sort of shrugs. He's like, we can't all be perfect. Some of us try a little harder than others.
I wanna be clear here. That sounds like an insult. We can't all be perfect. When you're saying that to another elf, is it an insult? I just want to know.
I mean, no, it's not an insult.
Okay, all right.
He's just like,
checking.
And he's just like, I need your help. I need to know the spirits in the area. You don't have to like me. Most people don't. It's
I
not
agree.
about you or me.
He just says I agree when you say that.
Yeah. It's not about you or I. It's about them.
So he quickly strides forward towards you. Crunch, crunch, crunch on the snow. He's letting out streamers of steam. Quick breaths. And then he holds his hand out towards you to do the backhanded elf handshake where you both hit the back of your hands together. Says, I know that you believe self-sacrifice and all of that nonsense, but I suspect that there will be a reward. I don't need to sacrifice anything. I can just follow you to the end.
I put the arm doing the greeting.
Just in case you're wondering, I'm baiting your belief about sacrifice.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to reply.
All right.
And I backed back and I was like, in the end, we all have to sacrifice something. You can choose to think you'll get out scot-free, but you're only deceiving yourself.
So he pulls out a wineskin and drinks it and says, "What have I sacrificed?" And then he pushes the wineskin up against you and says, "Not all of us have to live like a penniless beggar."
I don't take the wineskin. And that's just like, he just leaves it there and just...
He's gonna let go at some point and it's gonna fall at your feet.
What a douche.
All right,
falls.
it hits the ground, and like blood, it begins leaking out into the snow around your feet. And he does the exact same shrug that Nye does. Just, I suppose I have sacrificed something. That was almost 22 years old.
See? World works in mysterious ways.
He probably says an idiom in Elven. It wouldn't make sense to us humans, but it's basically like, the stick up your butt will grow into a beautiful tree one day.
And I reply with my own, where it's like, in the end, it's still a tree that bears fruit.
Ah, of course. Elven insults, the finest of all.
And we're like singing to each other as we're like going back and forth.
Okay. You have someone who is a spirit knowledge-y person.
Perfect.
I want to jump to a tavern scene.
Cool.
So this tavern is almost insulting to your elven sensibilities. There's a half-elf behind the bar, but it mostly just smells human. They've got a pot that's large and cast iron, nothing an elf would make. It seems to be one of those things where they just throw something new in there every day and keep it bubbling and boiling. Never quite empty.
Mm-hmm. Some slosh.
Yeah. The bread is hard on the outside and soft on the inside, but not in the way Limbus would be.
Mm.
Everything here is just inferior human make. They have no appreciation for the finer arts.
At least it's food.
The inn seems to have been turned into a way station for people to stay at. Your table is you, Nye, and I've already forgotten his name. Byron.
Byron, yeah.
Byron. All of the other tables are like sleeping areas. The tables have been turned into makeshift cots or beds. Instead of like a serving staff, just children take your order and deliver it. They're surprised that you give them money. Or I should say Byron gives them money.
Byron gives them money
You're
for
poor.
me.
You literally have, not only do you have
money.
no money, but you actually suck money away from other people. That's how
Yep.
bad you are.
Yep.
Poorest elf in all of history.
Who doesn't give a shit that he's poor?
And yeah, Nye and Byron are staring daggers at each other. And I think the conversation starts when Nye is just like, "How long until you turn to spite, Byron? I've heard that you're getting a bit to be like one of my kind." And he says something in Elvish, which is just like extremely insulting to a dark elf. And probably a little sexist too. And he says it while holding a knife on the table, threateningly. And Nye... You can tell Nye is about an instant away from whipping her. She's gonna actually kill him, like, for real.
I like break the bread and like offer it and like, please, let's be civilized now. We're in an inn. No need for blood.
All right, I'd like you to make a persuasion check.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I know. It's even better because it's the average of their will, so it's actually only gonna be 3 this time since Byron is not very willful.
All right. Well then. Jesus. I want to fork. I'm just gonna do Since we're doing Elven, I guess we'll do Song of Soothing again.
No,
No?
that's for herbalism.
Okay. Yeah, shit.
I'll let you fork spirit-wise,
What?
as
Yeah, I was
long
gonna
as
say.
whatever you're about to say brings it towards the conversation about spirits.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do spirit wise. And I think that's all I can really do. Persuasion with spirit.
I'm gonna give you a little extra helping boost here. If you sing your ply out, you will get sing as a fork.
Yeah, he breaks the bread.
Right.
And then he goes, "Come now, two wanderers. We search and see around. Don't be like this, so hostile. The spirits will never come around." And I'll use that to fork song and spirit wise.
Good luck.
I know. At least I can bring up a ditty every now and then. Oh shit, wrong obstacle. Obstacle 3, you said?
Obstacle 3.
All right.
Byron's an idiot.
Boom!
You have succeeded. You have 2 6s there. I'm not saying you should use your fate on it, but if you re-roll and get 2 or more successes, you get a flourish, which is like dunking on somebody. You'll get something extra that you can describe that might give you an advantage later.
And that would take
move.
That would take both of my.
No, 1 fate lets you re-roll all 6s.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep my fate for right now.
Okay.
I'm cool with taking. I now have a challenging and a difficult persuasion.
That's true.
I just need 2 more. I need two routines.
It's gonna be really hard.
I know.
It's gonna be pretty tough. Yeah. Byron looks kind of ill when you say that, and Nye just takes her hand off of her blade, about to just whip it out and stab his hand. Instead, she snatches the human version of Limbus bread, regular bread, out of your hand and says, "There's 3 travelers, idiot." And then like savage, unelfin-like ripping of the bread.
I mean, she's from the city, so I'm like, said wanderers, but okay. So, what do you know of these spirits?
I think she's gonna press that point. She's gonna turn towards you, and her eyes are gonna flare with anger, and she says, "I left the city with you, and now you don't consider me a wanderer like you? What are we doing out here, Rydell?"
What are we doing? We're trying to help, obviously.
That's what you're doing. What are we doing? Aren't we one? Are we one?
We are. So do we not count as one?
Then why wouldn't you count me to be a wanderer?
Because we are still 2 separate things, yet the same.
Byron is just smirking the whole time and says, "Oh man, it's going to be sufficiently arrogantly elfy."
Of course.
"Do I need to come back at a later date? Perhaps 10 or 12 years when you've sorted your feelings out?"
Just like raise the eyebrow, and I'm like, I look to Nye, and then I look back, and I'm like, I think we're fine, thank you.
Nye probably crushes the bread in her hand and lets bread crumbles drop down and says, "One of these days, Byron, I'm going to kill you, and it's going to feel really, really good."
Yeah, and just like completely glossing past it and ignoring the whole comment, as I'm just like, so the spirits.
Aye, the spirits.
Byron,
what do you need to know?
Well, what are around here?
Well, obviously, spirit of winter's around here, but I don't think that's what you're looking for.
Of course not. We don't have to play these games with each other. You know why I'm here.
Local villagers say that the spirit of spring resides somewhere to the north. I've reason to believe them. They're no fools. They know the signs: milk, warm bread, left out at night during the full moon, anything to bring our ancestors out. Spirit's not coming, though. And there's monsters afoot, that much I can tell you. Made quite a sack of coin here. Think I've taken almost all these villagers have. I was planning on moving on soon. Not that I don't regret their deaths. I'll mourn them under the deep starlight someday, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
It'll be very sad. You can tell that he doesn't think it's going to be sad. He's smiling.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I'll make sure to sing a song in your place. Don't worry. So
he actually grins at that, like a real grin, not like a sarcastic grin, not like an angry grin. Like you've said something humorous, and you will sing. I appreciate it when others take my burdens upon them. More of your sacrificing?
Always.
You know, Rydell, what would be even better than sacrificing always would be waiting until you have something worth sacrificing. And he places a huge bag of human coin on the table. This bag is velvet, and the drawstrings are elven-made rope. Everything about it is superior in every way to every other races. You can just see the individual 1200 thread count on the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Silk that hasn't been seen in these parts in generations. And he just opens it up, and human coin spills out and says, that seems like it'd be worth sacrificing for something. And he slams the table and says, bring me drink! Bring me the finest elven wine you have! And then bring me the finest human wine you have!
Just like shake my head and just like,
isn't this an opportunity, Rydell? It's not like you're going to have another chance. You'll die out there, you know. You're not very strong.
if I die, I die. At least I die believing in what I believe in.
Do you, though? Do you believe in what you believe in? I've often thought you a fool.
You're not the first.
Nye is kind of nodding next to him.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not the first. And yet I've always continued on and always helped.
So this is for Erosido's benefit.
What?
A cute little elf girl. She's half elven, but it's hard to tell because of how young she is. Looks fully elf. She's maybe 8 to 10 years old. Large, bright blue eyes, big smile. Kind of looks like she's got Baron's smile. Like a really nice elf smile. When he's not being sarcastic, when he's being real and true. And she just smiles up at you and is having trouble hoisting this massive dwarven tankard. And she just says, oh, I'm sorry. It's a little heavy for me. Can you help?
She says to me?
To you. Yeah, she's handing you a dwarf tankard.
Yeah, I help her.
So you lift this tankard up, and she just is like, that's the best human wine we have. It's not very good.
I just
not
slide
that I
it
know.
to Viren. I was just like, here you are. Your wine. And I look to the girl and I'm like, is there any help needed around here today?
So she claps her hands before her in a very human gesture of prayer, and her eyes grow wet as she stares up at you, practically tearing up, and she says, are you here to save us?
And yeah, and I just like, I go into song. I'm like so grieved by this child who's like, she's super young, isn't she?
She's like 10.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and I start to sing.
Are you singing an elven spell song, or are you just singing?
I don't think I have any elven spell songs.
You've got Air of Gates and Song of Songs.
Yeah. No, I'll just sing. I'll just do normal sing.
Okay.
As I go into a song of. He starts to sing like low to her in the beginning, telling her of change that is coming. And he starts with like how cold and scary the darkness can be. But if we all work together, soon the light we will see. Steel now your hearts and prepare yourself prepare yourself now. Spring is coming, and no longer shall. I don't know. It doesn't translate well
All
in
right.
common, but it's
That's
like
fine.
yeah.
Which language are you singing it in?
I'm singing in Elven.
Oh man, yeah, she doesn't understand, but she
I
looks
know she
up.
doesn't.
Why don't you make a sing check?
All right.
There's a
I would,
whole. I mean, there's so much you can fork on this one.
yeah. So I'm gonna do sing, and then I'll do spirit wise. What I can do? Lament,
Song of Songs.
Song of Songs. Uh, yeah. And what is
Persuasion would help.
And what's the obstacle?
I think it's gonna be obstacle 3.
Obstacle 3. All right.
So let me say this: your
road-wise-
intent here is to sing to her to like reassure her. It's basically like a persuasion test in song form.
Yeah, and at the same time, like trying to get her, because I originally asked her with like, do you need? My intent originally was, I wanted to do something to gain something. I wanted to work to earn, like my keep, essentially. And then she was scared, and I was trying to comfort her to show her like, you can trust me. I can.
Here's what's gonna happen if you fail your condition. You make this test and you fail. Byron is gonna step in and he's gonna show this girl the harshness of reality. He's gonna show her why it's winter and not spring. So I hope you roll well.
I don't know what that means, AP.
Good. Excellent.
You terrify me when you say that. So sing. I have lament, song of songs, persuasion, road wise, spirit wise, and I think that's it. 5. Forking in 5. 5. It's obstacle 3. You said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Come on, dice. Boom.
All right. That's
a lot
3
of traders
successes.
in there.
Yeah, there's so many ones.
Wow.
So many. You literally have 4 ones and then 3 successes. Incredible.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's a routine check for me.
How about halfway through your song, Byron just rolls his eyes, and it looks like maybe he's gonna get up, but the girl's just so authentically pleased with this song. And at the end, she says, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here." And then she like takes her little hands and takes your arm and is shaking it and says, "My grandfather died today, and I just don't want anyone else to die."
Yes, I don't want anyone else to die as well. Tell me, is there any help that is needed around? I would like to earn a drink and food.
The innkeeper stops by and puts a cup, not a large cup, but it's made of pewter. It's a solid cup. This isn't some wooden human mug. It's certainly no elf or dwarf made thing, but it is fine human craftsmanship, far better than any this village should see, and pours you out some fine elven wine. Says, "Aye, there's help to be had. Sir, if you don't mind. You can stay here the rest of your life. I'll feed you, give you a room. Mend your clothes, if only you could bring the spring. You're the one they talk about, right? The Wanderer."
I am.
The Wanderer.
I am the Wanderer.
He takes his hand and puts it on the girl's head and says, "This is my daughter."
You have a beautiful daughter.
"Thank you." I want her to live in a world where snow doesn't fall every day,
As do I for everyone.
where the trees don't burst, and where new
Well,
growth can show, and where there's food. Can you do that for us, sir?
I can try.
Then the only thing we need you to do is try.
That was my plan all along.
Wow.
As he gives
All
like
right,
a
you
chuck-
just went Yu-Gi-Oh villain.
Yugi boy. Yeah, and I'm just like, I appreciate the food and wine, and I'd be more than happy to take you up on your offer, but I will not stay here forever. There are many others that will need my help as well, and when I am finished, I will wander again.
He nods sagely, like he knows what you're talking about. It's clear he doesn't know what you're talking about, though. He's just like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like, oh, okay, well, thank you for the wine.
puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "No, thank you."
We all gain something by doing something. You will help me, and I will help you.
As he walks away with the girl,
Oh, I do the like smug look to Nye as I'm
Nye
just like,
immediately is just like gagging. She's like, "Ugh, such saccharine sickness, Rydell. I don't know why you
Ugh.
consider those things even living creatures. They
because
die, you know."
they can think and hear and breathe, and even you can grow from listening to them.
They
We
feel
all can grow.
cold.
They do.
What weakness.
Is it weakness? What makes you think it's
The
weakness?
old man today was ill.
Again,
Disease. That doesn't touch our race.
It doesn't.
We
But
were
why
the
do you think
first.
it makes them weak?
Because we're better than them.
Just because we're better than them doesn't mean they're weak.
Doesn't mean they're strong, certainly.
Some would disagree. I've seen plenty of humans that could cut down an elf.
She just continues gagging and says, "Such sugary sweetness. No
Nye,
human that could best it.
I-
True elf." And
I
as she
like-
says that, she slams, like, faster than any human ever could,
Yeah.
slams her blade, and it goes, like, 2 inches deep into the table. And it sits there quivering. No, that's not good. Yeah, like, everyone in the inn suddenly has jumped and is looking at this.
I move my seat next to hers, and I like put an arm around her shoulder, and I slowly like pull out the dagger, and then put it back in her lap, and I'm just like, Nye, come now. We don't need to be like this. We are who we are, and they are who they are. We all bleed in the end.
Are you looking to do a test here to convince her of something?
Yeah, she's so freaking spiteful, and I just want to like, I want her to not be. She used to be in Rydell's mind, like she still is beautiful.
Just to be clear,
still has these qualities, and I want her no longer to be spiteful.
in the middle of a frozen wasteland, are you claiming that you used to be best buddies, but now you're not, and you wish she would tell you why? That's right.
Yes.
You haven't seen Frozen. I
forgot.
I forgot for an instant.
I looked at you very blankly, like I don't know where this is going.
Trust me, everybody in the audience got it. You're a loser because you haven't watched Frozen.
I'm a loser. Yeah, I want her to like. She's so negative about everything, and she just has.
You have a belief on the line here too.
Yeah, she has this grudge, and I like look to her.
If only this dark elf wasn't so dark.
And I cup her cheek, and I like start to sing. And I'm just now. Hear my pretty wanderer, lost and so alone. There's more to life than what we see. Can't you be like we once were? And then he like.
Alright, EQ. Yeah. I'm gonna offer you a split here. Okay.
Yep.
You can attempt to make this a persuasion check, but it's not really quite that. It's actually a seduction check.
It totally is. And I'm trying to seduce her via persuasion at the
boy.
same time. But
So-
I don't have seduction at all.
I know, you can open seduction. And I
It's
will
gonna be
give you
super
a
hard,
bonus
isn't it?
die. Oh, it's going to be incredibly hard. Plus,
It's
you
gonna be,
won't
like-
be able to fork anything
Yeah.
into it. If you open seduction, though, you might be able to learn it very quickly. Either way, if this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. I'll give you a bonus die towards the check.
What's the difficulty?
So it'll be being learned. The difficulty is 4.
So I need 8 successes.
That's correct. It doubles when you're learning it.
So there's no way for me to actually pass this.
No. If you do it seduction way, it'll fail. If you do
yeah.
it persuasion way, it's not going to be about lovey-doveyness, though. It's going to be about seeing things your way.
I'll take what I can get, and I'll do persuasion.
All right.
I guess.
Obstacle 4.
Obstacle 4. All right. I'm gonna do
I'll let your fork sing.
sing. I guess Lament of Stars doesn't really account here.
I'm so glad that Arrow is just going full ham on this little girl. She's even got gloves and stuff. So good. She's got a scarf. Little red. I mean, like, one of the first things she drew was little red cheeks. It's amazing.
I love it.
So good at this Arrow.
So this is 4 dice with Ob 4.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
I made, what was it? I did 9
You made an amazing roll. It was crazy.
9 successes on 11 die versus
yeah.
a 10, and then I faded it and easily limped over the finish line.
Oh,
yeah.
man. All right.
I'm really good at rolling dice.
So I need to roll a 6 to be able to use Fate.
That's correct.
Oh, come on, dice.
If only there was some form of Elven song persuasion that you get open-ended. There's not.
There's not. Damn it.
I'm
like, I have sings.
If there is, you don't have it.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this, dice. Come on.
Nope. You
it's
have
1
1
6.
6. If you re-roll it and get 2 more 6s and then a 4, 5, or 6, are you doing this?
It's important. It's important to me.
It's important. All right. Well, the fate is with you then. Nope. Just 1 extra success.
Just 1.
All right. Mark down that you spent 1 fate. So remove a fate from your epiphany column and put 1 fate into your persuasion F.
Persuasion F.
For those at home, again, we're not here to teach you to play Burning Wheel. There's plenty of Burning Wheel shows I and others have done that can show you that. But it is important to keep track of the tests you make and how you make them.
Unfortunately, another difficult test does not help.
I know. You need to persuade people with low wills, like dumb humans.
Like dumb humans, like, give me your food. That's what I was hoping to do with the other guy, where I was going to be like, yeah, I'll trade you this for this. And
I mean, that's actually a really good thing to indicate here. Like, you don't need to eat food. But Viren and Nye are both eating in front of you, and you have no food. You just have your free glass of wine.
Yeah.
But you can, as elves, maintain yourself without ever eating or drinking.
Yeah, I know, I'm being sociable.
Yeah. I think that both of them are taking the opportunity to do a little spitefulness toward and be a little sloppy with their eating, and Viren's just like, he's very un-elf-like in the way he chomps down on... I suppose it wouldn't be a turkey leg, because probably they've already killed all the turkeys. It's probably like a very large rat.
Just like, I guess it doesn't work as I'm trying to, like, persuade her to see things my way. And I just sort of, like, swirl the wine.
But don't worry, buddy. Don't worry, because you failed in this persuasion, and there's some failure condition.
All right, what's the failure condition?
She pushes her seat. I should have informed you ahead of time. I'm sorry. I forgot about it. She pushes her seat back. As you've moved closer to her, she pulls away from you now and looks at everyone and is like, is this what it is, then? Is this how you all will die, huddled in a little inn next to a flame? You should be out there, looking for the spirit of spring yourselves. There's a sacrifice to be made. It will be of you. And she, like, has her blade out and is pointing it at various people, and then centers in on the cute little girl from before.
A
sacrifice of the girl would please the spirits. You know this to be true.
I stand up in front of her blade, and I'm just like, nice, stop this.
Stop this. Stop what? Telling these people the truth of their existence? That they are weak and fragile creatures that share some part of our blood? Or less?
Nah, you aren't.
That they are creatures the world
anything.
itself rejects? That death stalks them because they are unloved even by their gods?
Are you done yet?
Am I done? I've hardly even begun, and you can see that she's about to go take someone here as a sacrifice herself.
I mean, I'm not gonna let her.
How are you not gonna let her? Tell me how. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen right here. Like, she loves you, she does, and she knows that if you keep on this path, you're gonna have to keep sacrificing. And as she's already stated, like, if she takes someone from this village, she might be able to buy the world a day or two before the eternal winter sets in forever. She might be able to buy you some small relief with their death. And she's going to do it for you. So how are you going to stop her? And what I love here is that this is conflicting your beliefs of how I should work with you, but you also believe in sacrifice.
But I also believe in sacrifice.
I know, so tell me what you want to do. In the words of the immortal Spice Girls, so tell me what you want, what I really, really want.
Oh, God.
Oh man, I look to her and I'm just like putting my chest to the blade. And I'm just like, Nye, we don't know what the spirit wants. Even if you were to kill someone, it could be for nothing. It would be a needless sacrifice and nothing would be gained from it.
All right, here's my question.
What you want.
I would like you to make a spirit-wise test to see if that's true.
All right.
So here's the deal. If you succeed, what you have said, that the spirit might not care for the sacrifice.
Yeah, it might want something else.
It could be true. It will be true. It will be true.
Okay. It will
if you fail, it will not be true. The spirits will be appeased by any sacrifice.
Oh, okay. And then I'm just gonna say you and I have traveled many places. We have seen many things. It doesn't always have to be like this. Even you know that. And I will do spirits. And what's the obstacle?
2.
2. I'm gonna fork in roadwise and persuasion. No.
Persuasion, definitely not.
Okay.
It's not about telling her these things. The thing that we're testing for is
if
it true of the world?
Yeah. All right.
I'm almost convinced to allow you to do roadwise because I think we said that roadwise was really pathwise.
Yeah, it's really like paths and stuff.
If you find some way to tie in the pathiness in the next few lines of dialogue, I'll give you a go ahead.
Yeah, that was me saying the whole we've traveled many places before and not enough.
No.
Okay, how do I put pathwise into this? Oh, this is important. Yeah, and he goes Nye as he's putting the hand upon the blade, keeping it to close to his chest. We've traveled so many ways, and each path always leads to somewhere different. Not everything always has to go the same way. There's always other ways, just as there are with spirits.
All right, I'll allow for it.
All right. Is the obstacle 2?
Top 2.
All right, come on. Boom!
Wow, 3 successes and 2 6s.
Yep.
You want to fate that?
No. I'm going to save this fate for the spirit.
All right, so what you have said is true. Perhaps the girl would not be an acceptable sacrifice to these spirits.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And she knows it.
She does know it, but that doesn't mean she cares.
I mean, and that's why I have the blade to my chest. I'm not gonna let you do this, Nye. Not until we know.
Interesting.
I imagine it's one of those things like this isn't the first time we've had to sacrifice someone, or I've had to sacrifice
no,
something.
I've got it. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
The innkeep goes up next to you and takes the blade from Nye and puts it towards him. Take me. It'll save my girl. I'll do it. I hear your talk of sacrifice, like you think only an elf could do it. Well, my mate was an elf, but I can die like a man.
I like nod, like really like this guy. Like I like this guy, and
Yeah, but the little girl
Yeah.
is. You're nodding, and the little girl is looking at you in kind of horror, like I don't understand what.
and I just like shake my head to her, and I'm just like, life is not always sunshine and rainbows. Things have to be earned.
Jesus Christ.
Prices have to be paid.
She's
All
dead,
right.
dude.
So the innkeeper
It was like, but in the end, the sun will come again, and spring will return.
He takes the little girl aside and begins explaining to her that he'll be back soon. She just needs to wait here with her uncles and her aunts, and to be a good girl, and that she's just been the best thing in his life. And Nye has put away her blade and is nodding like, oh, he has done something worthy for the first time in his life. And she turns to you to say exactly that. She's like, well, the human certainly knows how to die correctly. He can buy you a day. Be worth it.
I told you, just because they're humans doesn't mean they're weak.
Well, one of them isn't. You know what they say, a broken clock's right once a day.
Never heard that before.
Well, it's a dwarven saying.
Oh, well. It's just like that. And I'm like, and I just returned and I was like, it's the same for elves though. Not all of them are willing to sacrifice also.
Byron shoulder bumps you and says, you think too little of our people, Rydell. Our people are always sacrificing. We feel deeply everything that happens.
Just looking at him like I don't believe him at all. Like the words coming from his mouth is the thing. It's like, I know this to be true, but it's the fact that it's coming from his mouth that I'm just like.
All right, so you're a hypocrite. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure we know that the superior elves are all hypocritical. She's half elves, so it's fine. Wow. Gonna live for super long time without a father. It's fine. Yeah.
Never said Rydell was a good person.
Oh no, no one would say that now.
Nope.
All right.
Sometimes the ends justify the means.
I think the next scene is the axe at the logging yard. The stump that it's stuck into.
Mm-hmm.
Nye and Viren have both taken off gloves and have used their weapons to start bleeding kind of bright red blood into the area and are walking in a circle so that they both come around to complete a circle and are making Full Metal Alchemist style designs in the ground. It's a lot of natural shapes like leaves, circles, double wavy lines, a lightning bolt, as they're like sealing a circle around the innkeeper who is, like keeping his hands warm.
Yeah.
Taking sips from a flask and just looking at that axe.
Could I have brought like a bowl with milk and honey put in, and then what I want to do is you gave me this idea from Winter's Edge, the blood into the bowl in order to attract the fae. as I've like prepared my part of it.
You just put dat axe?
Dead axe.
All right. They finish making their blood designs in the snow, and the innkeeper just lies down on the stump, head face toward the skies, and says, "It's so beautiful. Wish you could see it like I do, elf. Wish you could see it like I do." And then he looks at you, and his face is being reflected off of the axe, the mirror finish of this axe.
Yeah, and I like look up to it, and I think I like sing at this point, because it's like a very sorrowful moment, but it needs to happen. And it's me. He doesn't understand what I'm saying because he doesn't speak Elven, but it's me describing the stars and what the world, the sky looks like to me.
Are you doing Lament of the Stars?
Yeah.
All right.
As I am lamenting of the stars for him.
All right. He's going to need to make a check here because he's actually going to be caught in your Elven spell song.
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, he's probably going to be frozen. Whether he wants to run or not, he won't be able to. All right. So you need to... that's grief. Looking for the chapter on spell songs. Yes, Cat, I can hear you. Loud and no one cares. Hearing songs, blah, blah, blah. Casting songs. When elf is sung, you need to test your lament. Okay? Make your lamenting.
What is the obstacle?
I think just ob 1.
All right, I'm gonna fork in sing.
Okay. What I love is that the harder you make this, like, the more you succeed by this, the harder it's going to be for him to escape the lamenting.
I mean, isn't that the point for him to stay? Because we're gonna kill him anyways.
It's not that he, whether he stays or goes is no longer a point. Like, you're gonna freeze him in place. It's sobbing over this song or drooling in wonderment. It's awesome. Just go ahead.
Okay.
Get it. Let's make the roll. Let's see how good you are.
2 of 1.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He is caught in your song, so he will need to make a steel test. With his hesitation modified by the margin, so +1. He will almost certainly fail this. So he's got 4.
I know, you're good at rolling. You're good at role-playing games. See? You're good at role-playing
So here's the thing. He's rolling against a 5, and he got 3 successes. I'm going to let him use a fate, because either way he's dying, so it's not like it's going to go anywhere.
Look at
wow!
That, you're good at role-playing games.
He got 6 successes.
You're good at role-playing games.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, he isn't affected by your song.
Unfortunately.
The other elves look impressed by this.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. You're about to commit an act of extreme violence.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to make a steel test versus your hesitation.
Okay.
And this is, as you lift the axe, you just, memories flood back. Perfect recall of an elf. The tears of the girl when she didn't understand. The lies of the man. The resignation as he stepped forward. The shadow on his face. The kindness he gave to you when he gave you a drink in just the hopes that you would remember. And... the look on the face of his father when your girlfriend murdered him in the street.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I can't fork anything for this, can I?
No, you can't. So here's the problem. The hesitate, your steel versus your hesitation. Then. Before you say that, he just succeeded on an even harder check, so...
all right. I don't roll dice as well as you do, AP.
I believe in the heart of the cards.
All right. So hesitation is 5. My steel is 4.
Yep.
And I can't fork anything.
Can't fork anything. Here's the failure, right? If you fail, you're gonna... Oh, you did fail.
I have 2 6s.
It's open-ended, so it already rolled them. But because it's open-ended, you can spend a fate to re-roll one of your failures. You just need... Oh, you'd need to get a 6 again.
Yeah.
You feel lucky? How important is this? Like, you're gonna stop in the process of chopping this guy's head off. You're gonna be like, "Ah!" And then you're just gonna stop. You'll have some options here as to what exactly it is you do.
Oh man, I mean, this is part of my belief.
It's gonna cause you so much grief too.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
gonna be grief.
I'm literally gonna die.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you consider this guy a friend? Have you befriended him in the short time you've known him?
No.
All right, making sure.
But I definitely think like he's a worthy human. He seems to follow like a lot of my similar instincts. Like, he's willing. He follows one of my beliefs. Like, life is hard, and he's willing to sacrifice something to gain something for his family. And that's what I'm like agree with him on. I don't think.
Wow.
So I would only be able to roll one of my fails, right?
Yep. And if you got a 6 and then another success, you would win this test through. No hesitation.
What does it mean if I win the test through?
You'll chop his head off without any problems.
All right.
So I guess the question here for you is, it's kind of twofold. Like, the other elves are going to notice that you're hesitant to make the sacrifice, despite all that you say about sacrifice. They're going to be like, "Oh, I can't do it," for a couple seconds. You'll get to it eventually. Make no doubt, you will get this guy's head off. It's going to happen. The only question is, do you falter in front of your friends, and do you extend the terror that this guy knows? Because he's not under your wonderment song.
Yeah.
He might be able to be like, "Okay, you're not doing this? All right, I'm getting up and walking away."
All right, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna use
All right,
fate.
you're using your last fate.
All right, come on, just let me be good at role playing games.
I feel like oh my gosh, you got a 6. All right, re-roll again.
Let me
be
4,
good. 5, or 6.
Dice. I have a few things I like to do in the games, and I like to be good at role playing games. Give it to me. Shit.
Nope, you didn't. Nope. All right, you have several options here. You can stand and drool. Your mouth will gasp open, and you will stand your ground, your mouth hanging wide. You may fall prone and beg for mercy. You can run screaming, or you can swoon. You fall backwards, swooning. You are dazed and utterly unaware of your surroundings.
I have drool, run away, dazed, and what else?
Fall prone and beg for mercy. This would be like, well, if it was a human, you would beg the gods, but probably you'd beg the spirits. Like, why? Why must I do this?
I think I am gonna beg for mercy.
All right.
As I'm begging the spirits, I fall prone and I beg the spirits for mercy. Like this, as he's just like, spirits, this doesn't have to be the way. They've already sacrificed so much to you. As he just like starts to weep.
So for 5 heartbeats, you hit the ground, and probably it's like a forward slow motion fall, and it's zoomed in on your knees, so there's like an avalanche. Snow goes out of the way, and then we get the apocalypse now kind of why spirits, and like steam is coming off of you.
Yeah,
because you're not affected by the cold. You're literally just too hot.
Yeah.
Hot damn. Call the police and the fireman.
Too hot. Hot damn. Yeah, and it's just like one of those things where he's just like, he's seen everything that's going on, and he's just, for the first time, he's not calm, and he's just angry. And
Byron looks at you like you're weak, and Nye goes for her sword, but before either of them have a chance to do anything, you can finish. Your hesitation is over. You've begged for mercy. Mercy has not come. It's time.
Then I just finish it at that point.
All right. I'm curious, like, when you get up, do you use the axe handle to help you stand? Do you?
It's
it
totally
grim?
like he
is
takes...
this Warhammer 40K style Inquisition? Like, this is happening.
Yeah, it's like one of those moments where like the knee comes up first, and then he like pushes the axe into the snow and uses it to lift himself up, and you just see like frustration and anger on his face, and he just walks, and it's the first time where his face just like goes completely flat. I'm sorry. And then the axe like comes down.
There's a brief whisper of wind through the trees. The pine needles hit her, and the head rolls off of this beautiful stump that's now just covered in dark red human blood. And the little girl starts running towards the circle as Nye, in an almost emotional human moment, runs forward and like shoulder tackles the girl, but is also hugging her.
Yeah.
It's not like she's trying to hurt her, but she like intercepts the girl and it's like, no, you can't break the circle. It's not done yet. Not till the morning light has come. Yeah, Aristotle, a beautiful stump, okay?
Yep, beautiful stump.
It's a thing. There are some very fine-looking hardwood trees that when you get them sliced down right at the bottom, they leave a lot of rings, and it looks very nice.
Yeah.
Almost like stained woodwork, but naturally.
Yeah, and it's he like speaks in common as he like stands before the circle, like holding out the axe as the blood is sort of like slightly dripping off the end of it, and he holds up his hands and he just like calls out. He's like, "Spirits, your price, your demand. I call you. I've done what is needed to be done. Let spring come."
I love the idea of this scene in my mind, that you're in the foreground, and in the background is Nye, like, holding this kid back. Then it flips, and it's like you holding a bloody axe over your head with blood dripping off of it, and Nye is the one lifting this little girl off the ground, just whispering in her ear, lies, obvious lies, like, it'll be fine, everything will be fine, child.
Mm-hmm. And that's just when the stump is outside the circle, right?
Stump is inside the circle.
Oh,
Stump
okay.
is the very center of the circle.
Yeah, and then he puts the axe like down next to it, and then you just see him like sit in the snow as he just starts like heavy breathing, and the steam is coming off of him, and he just watches, and he starts to like sing to himself as he's going to lament over the sorrow, loss of death.
All right.
And it's something like
While you're lamenting, Viren uses the toe of his boot to Legolas kick. He just slides it perfectly over the snow and the bowl of honey and milk towards where the blood is coming out of this guy's neck. So it like slides up. It almost hits this edge of the stump, but stops just short, like perfectly short. Only an elf could do. And some of the blood that's gushing out lands in the bowl. And Viren just nods towards you, like.
Yep. And that's when I like break the bread and put it in as I'm singing the lament.
All right, excellent. I feel like this is a good place to take a break, like a 5 or 6 minute break. Arrow, how are you feeling about that? I don't want to stop you if you're on a roll.
Actually, I could use a break.
All right, good. We'll take a 5 or 6 minute break, and then we'll be back with the second half of the first episode of On the Tabletop. Guys, can we get a round of applause and thanks for Aristotle for these fucking amazing drawings? This is incredible.
Seriously.
This is incredible. Even when he's mocking me by writing about beautiful stumps. We'll talk about Stump School very soon.
That was
Actually, the reason why I mocked you because I actually thought you were
You're a little soft here.
I thought you were talking about the
the neck.
Head
No,
stuff. Yeah.
no.
So I was like, what the hell? Beautiful.
No. Good call. It's a good call.
But yeah,
Yeah, guys. When we come back, if you've got any questions about art, how to make art, commissioning art from Aricido,
yep,
any of that stuff, hit us up in chat. Like even just asking about techniques and stuff. We're
yep.
here for you. Feel free to interrupt our role playing game for your actual art technical details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
We'll be back in about 5 to 6 minutes with the second half. Be there.
Bye bye.